Knowing how to get started with decluttering your home is one of the biggest questions that I get asked on a regular basis. And whilst I've shared lots of different tips about different strategies, different challenges, different ways to get motivated, I wanted to put together some simple, easy steps to get decluttering and to start decluttering your life. Getting started with decluttering can be really hard. It can be hard to get motivated. It can be hard to know where to start. It's time to rethink decluttering and take away that pressure, take away that overwhelming feeling, and know that actually you can do this. You can declutter your home and have it in the way that you want it to be. So let's declutter your life in 5 easy steps. Step number 1 is you need to know the basics. The basics around decluttering to make it really easy, really simple, so that you are able to get started and get going without too much fuss and without too much hesitation. And by this I mean that you need to have a system where you have 4 different categories. You're going to need containers or plastic bags to do this. You need a bag for donating, a bag for rubbish, a bag for items to sell, and then a pile or a box that you can put any items that you're going to keep whilst you're sorting, and then those are the items that you would put back into the area that you are working in. The idea is that if you immediately put it into a bag or a container when you're deciding whether or not to sell it or to donate it, it means that when you finish decluttering in that area, you've already got something straight away that you can then put in the car and take to the charity shop or take to the recycling centre, so that you're not having to then put things into a bag and make it another chore. Keep it as simple as possible so that you're not moving things around as much and they are being sorted straight away into those categories. Tip number 2 is to start small, but start. You're going to need to think about motivation here, and it can be difficult to feel motivated when you're trying to declutter, and one of the easiest ways that you can get motivated is by just doing a really small amount. A little act of decluttering is the best starting point, because the more that you get into a habit of decluttering, the easier it will become. So starting small is a really good way to get going, but you need to start. You need to do any little amount that you can manage, but start. So your options here are to do maybe the little acts of decluttering that I set on my social media channels. I set them on a calendar PDF that you can download for free on my website, declutteryourlife.co.uk. And it tells you one little thing or one little area to work on each day, so you can tick them off your list, and eventually over time you will start to see a bigger change within your home. The other option, if you don't want to do a specific category or specific area, is you could set a timer. So you could set a 15-minute timer or a timer of your choosing, and you just do what you can within that time limit. It takes the pressure off feeling like you have to complete the whole area. It's just about doing whatever you can in that small amount of time, but at least you have done that time of decluttering. You've done those 15 minutes and you have made a dent into the decluttering process. Tip number 3 is to make quick decisions. By this I mean you need to decide yes or no straight away whether or not you want to keep an item. If it's an item that you love, that you enjoy, that you use. If it's an item that you're hesitant on, I suggest you just rule that as a yes immediately, so that you don't have to sit and make a decision on it. You're clearly not ready to make a decision if you're hesitating about the item, so come back around to that at another point in time when you're ready to make a firm decision about whether or not to keep or to let go. But the point of doing a quick decision is that you're going to get through items a lot quicker, and you're going to feel better success and like you're achieving more because you are going through items at a quicker pace, and it means that you'll get better at decision making as you go through. So like I did, I ended up doing my whole house, and then I thought, well actually I was probably quite generous the first time, then I went back through small areas at a time. But doing little areas at a time, but making those decisions is going to help you think a bit more clearly about those items. But going around a second time can help you think, actually I probably didn't really need to keep that, or I'm now ready to make my decision about that item. Tip number 4 is to remove items from your home ASAP as soon as you've decided to let them go. So if it's a donation pile, you need to straight away think about when you can take it to the charity shop to donate it, or to the recycle centre to dispose of it if it's recycling, so that you are taking it out of your home and it's being dealt with quickly. Because what can happen is we end up having an area where we pile things up, and it can become overwhelming to look at that area, and then also becomes a job in itself. If you're deciding to sell items, give yourself a deadline on how long you're going to give to try and sell that item. It could be a week, it could be 2 weeks, it could be a month or 2 months, but decide at that cut-off time that if you haven't sold that item, you are just going to donate it. Because otherwise you end up having lots of items that are lingering without decisions being made and without anything happening, and often you might be pricing things too high, or it's just not worth what you think it is. And the idea is that we're trying to get items out of our home as quick as possible. So schedule yourself in a deadline for selling items and regularly set up trips to the recycle centre and to donation and to charity shops, so that you are regularly dropping things off and getting them out of your home. Tip number 5 is to make decluttering a habit. And this is why I suggest the little acts of decluttering. Doing a little bit of decluttering on a daily basis is going to help you to think more clearly about the items that you bring into your home. It'll help you get a clearer perspective on your attachment to things, and the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So creating a daily habit of decluttering means that you're going to have a really mindful and thoughtful attitude about, or conscientious attitude about the things that you are keeping in your home, what makes you happy. It helps you think a bit more clearly. So keep decluttering on a regular basis so that you are really starting to understand your attachment to items. And if you need help to do that, I have got my social media channel where I share little acts of decluttering on a daily basis on TikTok, Instagram or Facebook, and I also share tips on YouTube as well. And if you want more information about my little acts of decluttering, I have now written a book, and I've pulled everything together so that all the little categories are outlined in the book, and it gives you a bit of a description, gives you tips, advice and thoughts about how to declutter in each area. So that is a great accompaniment. You can get it on Amazon, either on Kindle, paperback or hardback, so that you can start thinking about decluttering your home as a whole process. I also have a little acts of decluttering planner book. This is the decluttering planner book, and it has goal setting, it has checklists, and it also has a daily schedule where you can time block out and give yourself to-do lists, a focus area, and you can reflect on how you've got on with your decluttering. So it's a great way to really think about your decluttering process and how you're getting on. I also have checklists within this book. At the end of each category, like kitchen, there is a checklist where you can tick off everything within that area that you have been working on. You could pick them at random from different areas, but you have got a checklist at the end that you can tick things off. So there are 5 easy steps to declutter your life. I shall be back for more videos on decluttering, minimalism and my no spend year. Take care, bye.